Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I want to introduce myself. My name is Jumariah Sri Nella. Name 190150016. I will present material on ergonomi kognitif. What is ergonomy? Ergonomic or human factor is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interaction among humans and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies theory, principle, data, and method to design in order to optimize human well-being and overall system performance. The word ergonomy comes from the Greek word ergon, means work, and nomos, which means laws. It's essentially the laws of work or sign of work. Good ergonomic design removes incompatibilities between the work and the worker and creates the optimal work environment. Ergonomics, there are many disciplines to optimize the interaction between the work environment and the worker. What is cognitive? Cognitive is a term from the mental processes that take place in the brain, including thinking, attention, language, learning, memory, and perception. These processes are not discrete abilities. They are a raft of different interacting skills which together allow us to function as healthy adults. The mental process language refers to the skill involved in all from the communication from understanding other to articulating thought. Perception is translating the information received from our sense into a multisensory view of our surroundings. Cognitive ergonomics is concerned with mental processes as perception, memory, reasoning, and motor response as the effect interaction among human and other elements of a system. Why cognitive ergonomics need to be studied? Ergonomy needs to be studied because cognitive ergonomics deal with mental processes such as perception, memory, thinking, and mobility, and the way they are affected by the interaction with the remains of the observer system. The most important aspects include mental effort, decision making, interaction with computer, human reliability, the work stress. Besides that cognitive ergonomy can to design work conditions and environment that extend cognitive function and human performance at work, and as a consequence improve productivity, safety, and healthy at the work. What are the benefits cognitive ergonomy? Benefit cognitive ergonomy to extend occupational health and safety by limiting the mental load a worker has to deal with a potentially dangerous situation, and increase the reliability with which the worker will be able to effectively and safely carry out the assessment tasks. What is human information processing? Human information processing, an approach to the study human thought and behavior development beginning in the 1950. as an alternative to the behavior approaches that were popular at the time. It is cognitive approach that is often equated with contemporary cognitive physiology. The central tenet of the information processing approach is that a human can be characterized as an information processing system, which encode, implant, imported information, store and retrieve it from memory and produces output in term action. Information processing model for particular tasks describe the flow of information through the various checks and predict response time, error rate, error type, and other aspects of human performance. Stack human information processing is, according to Winkes and Holland, the human information processing model is preceded by a sensational process of physical stimuli coming from the environment. As physical stimuli generate neural activity which may or may not be processed further. The next process is cognitive. This process includes perception and decision making, which is assisted by the process of storing information. The perceived process at or understanding that is happening is a combination of a top-down processor in which the stimulus it will be our sense and bottom-up process in which long-term memory, knowledge, and experience help give meaning to the uh, stimulus of time. The end of the human information process is the process of excluding the selection decision. The effectiveness of these processes is limited by the share of attention, which indicates of capacity of multiple mental processes to be carried out simultaneously. Finally, the response that is chosen and carried out by human will produce input or feedback, which together with stimuli from the environment are felt again by the sense and are useful in determining whether the goals of the activities carried out have been achieved. The first step of the information processing theory in sensory memory, as the word suggests, it means what we experience of our senses such as sight, sight, listening, touch, or smell. Sight and hearing are considered to be the most important ones. In an organization, if you demonstrating a product sample to your employees, you can do it in a number of ways. The first option is to explain the product in its benefit verbally. This is called an echoic memory as employees have their hearing sense activated. Next, you can respond it visually, maybe talk a slide deck, discuss an iconic memory. Finally, you can pass around the product sample so that employees can value. The advance of presenting information in different way is that you get the apple to everyone's sake. For example, some employees may retain information better talk visual repetition, while others do it better when they have a product right in front of them. All in, all in, you're basically increasing the likelihood and information retention by employees. attention in his 1890 book, The Principle of Psychology. Psychologist and philosopher William James wrote that attention is the taking possession by the mind and clear and vivid form of one out of what may seem several simultaneously possible object or train of thought. Uh, Besides that, according Winkers 2000, attention is the behavior a person uses to focus the sense from sight to hearing and advancement. Attention is the ability to actively process scientific information in the environment while tuning out other details. Attention is limited in terms of both capacity and duration. So it's to have why important to have ways to effectively manage the essential research we have available in order to make sense of the world. It implies withdrawal of something in order to deal effectively with other. There are two major forms of attention, one passive, two active. Passive, passive attention is passive attention refers to the involuntary process directed by external events that stand out from their environment, such as breakfast, a song a door, or a student loud noise. We make size they We make say that because passive attention is involuntary, it is easy. Besides that, active attention. Active attention is voluntary and is guided by alertness, concentration, interest, and needs such as curiosity and hunger. So, what impact person attention is disturbed? Impact person attention is disturbed is decreased ability to inscribe intellectual function, reduction transmission efficient nerves in the brain cause information processing to slow down and a lot of information to be lost during transmission. Reduced ability to accumulate now information and receive information from memory, as well the ability to record past event. The past is better the ability to remember recent event occurred. For example, testing while operating a physical requires a drive to switch attention from one task to another. That impairs a drive ability to focus on the task hand, resulting in slower action time. Paying attention to what matters is important to avoid the consequence of an accident, whether operating a locomotive, driving a car, flying a plane, or crossing an interaction in food. What what is perception? Mm, Perception can be defined as our recognition and interpretation of sensory information. Perception also includes how we respond to information. We can think of perception as a process where we take in sensory information from our environment and use that information in order to interact with our environment. Why is perception important? Because perception is important. It helps you can understand the world around you. Sensation sensation refers to the process of recovering information through the sense. Perception refers to the way our brain interprets the sensation. Mm, so stage 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 perception. Number one, selection. Selection is perceptual selection occurs when a customer perceive and select a stimulus based on their psychology set. Psychology set is a variety of information that is the customer's memory. Before perception selection occurred, the stimulus must for the attention of the customer. The process include in the definition of selection are attention and selective perception. Number two, organization. Organization is customer in group information from various sources into comprehensive meanings to better understand and act on the understanding. The basic principle of the perceptual organization of association is that various stimuli will be perceived as an overall group. Important principle in the inclusion of perception of course, grouping, and context. Number three, interpretation. Interpretation is the process of giving meaning to sensory stimuli. Interpretation occurs when mm, when customer giving meaning to a set of stimuli they receive. Everyone will feel a different interpretation when everyone talk given the same stimulus. When the people see and hear show on TV, but they may have different interpretation. Interpretation depend of the expression how the stimulus shall be. For example, if you stare at it long enough and then look away, you may still see the image appear. This is an example of perception. Our brain Our brains try to process image by identifying them, organizing them into a pattern, and interpreting sensory information to make sense of the world we live in. Impact when a person's perception is disturbed. Number one, hallucination. Hallucination. Hallucination are perceptions that arise in a conscious state without any clear external stimulation to the five senses. Example, visual hallucination can be shaped like people, animal, and object or not shaped like light. Lightning can be color or colorless. Number two, illusion. Illusion are perceptions that actually occur in the presence of a real stimulus from outside, especially when a person is very tired or very aroused. A person sees the shadow of a monster on the wall in dark room and he is afraid. Number three, depersonalization. Depersonalization is a strong feeling about himself or a feeling that this personality is not what it used to be. Not according to reality, for example, part of his body are no longer his or outside himself, out of body experience. Number 5, somatosensory. Somatosensory disturbances are disturbance in convention reaction that are manifested symbolically and describe emotion conflict. For example, blurred vision of objects that are seen to be longer than what is memory. Memory is the term given to the sector on process involved in the stock and subsequent retrieval of information. Memory is essential to all our life. Without a memory to the past, we can operate in the present or think about the future. We will not be able to remember what we did yesterday, what we have done today, or what we plan to do tomorrow. Without memory, we could not learn anything. Memory is involved in processing vast amounts of information. This information takes many different forms, uh, for example, image, sound, or meaning. Uh, what the difference between working memory and short-term memory? The working memory is a system in the brain that has to do with reasoning and comprehension. Comprehension. Because it is a system, the working memory does more than just store information. When a piece of information enters the working memory, it can be manipulated and processed. Part, part of the brain involved in working memory function include the frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex, anterior cingulate, and basal ganglia. It's important to note that the working memory disclaims which act. The present the prevent this, you have to keep your brain working by doing activity like learning new skill, reading, and pursuing a hobby. Short-term memory. Short-term memory is one part of a bigger system, which is the working memory. The short-term memory is sometimes uses the term short The short-term memory is sometimes used interchangeable with active or primary memory because it has to do with storing information from a period of a few seconds to 30 seconds. All of this information is temporarily and quickly forgotten. However, through the process of repetition and use, it can move into the long-term memory. Short-term memory handles information that is activity and readily available. So, difference between working memory and short-term memory is the working memory and short-term memory are sometimes confused with each other. The short-term memory stores information for a few seconds, while the working memory process and structure the information for a short time. To give a concrete example, short-term memory is in charge of helping you remember that phone number that your friend discussed to say you say save in on your smartphone. Basically, that working memory is a chart of helping you process information that you learned in class as you take notes and study. Uh, Different between working short-term and long-term memory. Difference between short-term and long-term memory is well closely related, have many differences. Long-term memory is used to store information, memory, skill set, and procedural knowledge that can be readily retrieved when needed both voluntarily and involuntarily. Short-term memory is designed to retain information for a brief period of time, after which it is then either forgotten or stored permanently. Is long-term memory, based on actively it used while in short-term memory. Another Another key difference between short-term memory and long-term memory is the way in which the information stored in each is accessed. Information in short-term memory is easily accessible because it is temporarily right there, waiting to be used. People use short-term memory to remember things for a short period of time, such as phone number they have looked up, or potential answer to question on a test for the which they have studied at the last minute. They will be able to easily